Good evening. Good evening, good evening. I am still Blue Mooney, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. Now, for anyone who just happens to be watching in 6 months' time, a year's time, 5 years, 10 years, don't worry, you haven't skipped a video. Day 11 did not happen for various reasons. I know day 10 technically didn't happen, but I still managed to have a very quick chatting stream to just explain the situation and why I wasn't writing that night. I meant to do the same yesterday on day 11 because my small one was still quite ill, so I didn't think it would be a good idea to stream just in case. And yes, we were staying at my parents' house, and I came back to do my very brief stream, and I found the power was off. And after much exploration and such, we could not find the cause. We could not get it to go back on. All the other houses were fine. This was a specific to our place thing. And I did, in fact, mention on my very first stream that the power here has been known to go out occasionally for unknown reasons, and that I hoped it wouldn't be a problem. But as it turned out, it was a problem, although I think this was, in fact, a different reason to the previous reasons that it went out. So I'm not sure whether to be happy or sad about that fact. It's not just one thing going wrong. There's multiple things that could go wrong at any time. Oh yes, so it meant I couldn't stream on day 11 at all because no power, no desktop. My laptop is nowhere near powerful enough to handle streaming. And plus, Scrivener doesn't always play nicely with using it across machines. And I don't think I would have had the wherewithal to try to get Scrivener to work on my laptop, as well as trying to get Prism working, trying to get a stream happening on a laptop when I've never done that before. So I wasn't nearly as panicked as I thought I would feel. I'm guessing just because everything was definitely out of my hands, there's just, nothing to be gained from panicking. I guess that's what the undercurrents of my brain were reasoning anyway. Oh, so yes, it's been 2 days since I've done any writing on this fate story. I briefly opened another story on my phone yesterday after the stream didn't happen, trying to cheer myself up. I opened up my magical story, because normally reading my magical story makes me grin and shoulder happy dance and all the good feels. But unfortunately, it seems that the disastrous last 2 days has triggered a small case of worst writer in the world syndrome, and things that I've read, just a few weeks ago probably, and loved, now sound absolutely terrible. So that's okay. I'm still only on the second draft. Next draft, I'm going to try to change as little as humanly possible, but just listen to the entire story all the way through using our voice to text. And I may hand over the money it takes to get a good program for a couple of months to do that. I usually use free text-to-speech software, and that works fine. I don't dislike the very mechanical sounding voices, really. I think, if you find the right one, it's kind of cute. But more realistic voices may be useful. So I'll look into that then. Yes, so I haven't done any real writing in 2 days, which isn't so unusual for me, but I liked that I was in such a good place with it, being able to just do a bit every night, and streaming was helping with that, so I'm glad of that, even though, as I've said many times, I don't think writing every day on stream is viable. I will probably go to doing shorts once a week, or perhaps twice if I really sort of settle into it and grow more confident. And maybe in the future, if people like my works and more people choose to watch my videos because they like my writing, perhaps if we reach the membership stage, I can do some book planning on membership streams. I don't think I could write properly. You've seen the difficulty that I have, but I'm not so bad at doing notes and world building and character creation and planning. That's a lot of fun to do live. So yes, that's an option for the future, which would be lovely. Just a thing to keep in mind, streaming tonight, I am streaming headphones off and door open, so apologies if you hear any household noises that you normally wouldn't hear. I just want to make sure I definitely hear the small one if she needs me. Oh dear. Yes, well, let's jump over and have a look at my stats. They're not going to be as happy with me now that we've missed 2 days in a row. But we got quite far ahead. Yeah, here we are. We're just about even on where we should be today, even though we haven't done any writing yet. So hopefully, oh dear, I'm hoping to reach at least 1,000 words tonight. I'd like to reach the 1,667, but given the last few semi-disastrous days, I'm exhausted. Yes, Murphy was applying his law all over me the last few days. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, at least when it came to writing and streaming and my family's, health in a minor sense. There's nothing seriously threatening going on with my small one's health. It's just not pleasant for her or anyone else, poor thing. But hopefully over the next few days she'll improve. Hopefully I won't catch whatever she's got, which will, I'm sure, further impact streaming and writing if that happens. I mean, I've got the cough, but I've had the cough for a while, so maybe I already had it. It was just milder. I'm just going to mute to cough. Oh dear, sorry about that. Alrighty. So yes, I'd like to reach at least 1,000 words. Will be very, very note form today. My head's been very out of this story. I've barely thought about it at all. I've been so distracted, honestly. But we'll do our best. We just got Liot to bed, and he's about to go into the interview, but we've already written that. So maybe just a very short paragraph to join there to the paragraphs, to join there to the interview, and then just mark where we're going to be shifting the interview to at the moment, because I think we are just going to have to start at the beginning. I'd hoped to sort of do Liot arriving in the city and the show, and having everything broken to him done in a sort of montage, done very quickly, but it's not as interesting. So yes, we'll see how we go. Let's bring Scrivener up. Yes, so if I am speaking more quietly and it's harder to hear me, I'm sorry, but I don't want to wake up the small one. And I think I speak an awful lot louder in headphones. I don't think that's unusual, but it's still a little jarring how much louder I am in headphones without actually realizing it. Okay, let's bring up Scrivener. Whoops, that was the wrong button to Does this one work? It does. Hooray, it works. Where are we? Here we are. That's alright. That's alright. Okay. Well, I can't hear it because my headphones are off, but let's turn down our background music and pop on the rain. Please let me know if it's too loud or too soft, and I will make appropriate adjustments to improve your viewing and listening pleasure. Okay, so he's asleep. That's where we got him to. So just a few sentences, a short paragraph to get him from his hotel room of sorts to the interview. So possibly, he sleeps in for the first time in his life. He's just that exhausted from everything happening to him, and there were no alarms or no grands to wake him up. So possibly he's roused at a late hour and sort of oh wait, I think I thought of something I wanted to add earlier, but I think I've forgotten what it was, because it was just a random thought as I was going about business amid the various disasters of the last few days. I should have taken a note. It's just what was it related to? And clearly to Liot. And here, I think it was the random thought that in general things are done for the chosen one cohorts, particularly the higher ones. So I was even wondering if people would just without a thought try to assist in things like bathing, and they ought to be like, I can do it myself. But yeah, I was wondering about that. I'm wondering about him giving himself the shower here, maybe. Oh, that's right, I just wanted to say, told to treat this as his home sort of thing. Everything for his use. Possibly, if you need anything, just call, but maybe not have them explain how to call or what call means. He hasn't received his new tech, and he probably does not have his if he brought his rental one with him, and I don't think I noted that. It's just maybe tries to bring it but told to leave it. Sorry, more likely to hum because I can't hear the rain. Oh well, it's nice to hum. What was I saying? Shaking hands. Tries to pack up his belongings. Told him time to leave them. Oh dear, wait, I'll need to make some adjustments. I had the administrator go with him, but yes, maybe he was such a big deal that the rest of the tests had to be delayed. Or maybe someone else came with the patrol to take him, or maybe the patrol took him on their own. I am not going to keep the name tech bad. Yeah, I need to figure out all the names, but not right now. Okay. Who goes with him? Oh wait. No, wait. No, wait, that's not right. That's not right. It's the same administrator that did, it'd have to be the same administrator that did Min, wouldn't it? Because I had them working from eldest to youngest. Going through the classes, so this would be the last lot. So it should be fine. I'm just going to make a note in case I've forgotten that in my earlier notes. Oh dear, this is what writing fast does. You miss out on obvious things. I know that's what edits are for, but still, it's nice if it can be as... No. What's the word I'm looking for? Comprehensible? Something along those lines. Sorry, I really do hope you can hear me all right. I am speaking quite softly now. I mean, the microphone is right in front of my mouth, but... yeah... That's okay. Okay. So, just leave a little gap there. I'm his life. Liot oversleeps. No. So calling them alarms. And I keep hearing things. A siren. That's a good word for it. Siren to wake him. Usually, I figure he's the sort of person who usually didn't need to be woken up anyway. He just did it on his own. But he's that exhausted. That's right. A call. Well, he doesn't have any tech yet. I'm guessing they're referring to there's something rigged up in the room, like some kind of, more advanced intercom. Slash room service. With a jolt. Knock on the door. Who do we have coming in? I don't imagine it's ever, one person. There's always teams ready to ferry these kids around, dress them up, paint their faces, generally design them into something to match their image, their talents, but of course Liot and his cohort haven't been assigned anything like that yet. So, yes, but it's still his first day there. He doesn't know what's going on. He's got his interview coming up. I don't think they expect him to be sort of up and ready at the moment, but coming to assist him. And they probably won't even wait for him to open the door. They probably... I don't know if he can open the door. Is it locked? I don't think they'd lock him in. That's overkill. Well, not locked, but Liot not game to open it. Okay, so Joel's on the door. Liot's groggy. Maybe we can give him a bit of a min moment and half fall out of bed. Way more sheets and blankets than he's used to, so he's all tangled up in them. Probably doesn't really need them up here. Brief thought that They're wasted up here. Needed in the city. So tries to go to the door, but doesn't make it before it opens. Flurry of activity. How many people? Not enough to crowd the room, but enough to be overwhelming. 5? That's probably too. That's overkill. We're not getting him ready for anything too important right now. So maybe 2 people to sort of assist him and 1 to act as escort and ferry him around. So precursor to his personal assistant. So like a temporary personal assistant. Assistance that I can spell occasionally. Temporary personal assistant. Honestly, I am rather liking this without the headphones. I much prefer hearing myself properly. I had to turn off my my headphone monitor because I was just getting the echo and it was driving me up the wall. This is much more pleasant, but I suppose there is the very high likely I will forget to adjust my music or my rain or my microphone and will wind up missing all the audio. So maybe I should start out in headphones and take them off as we get started. Until we start maybe playing games. That could be fun. Have to hear the games. I've got a few I'd like to play. But yes, after November. We're busy right now. No time for games. We have to write. I'm writing. Watch me go. Flurry of activity, temporary personal assistant, plus 2. I don't like calling them servants, but I think that's technically what they are. I'll just call them staff members for now. Number 2, assist Leon getting ready. Ready for what? Instant kick of nerves back. Instant kick of nerves when, out of sleep. He was relaxed during sleep. He wasn't, I think he was just too exhausted to be, horrible, anxious night. He was just out. So I don't need to do the comparison. We know he's just woken up and he's groggy, so instant kick of nerves. Okay, so personal assistant, explaining as staff members. He doesn't have any other clothes there yet. He's got what he wore yesterday on the TV show, but they're not going to put him back in that. They're about to lavish this kid with everything, he's ever wanted, except he's never really wanted it. So, okay. So, staff members. I know for the TV show they had a huge... how many racks were they going over? I forget. About 3 racks of clothes in his size. But they've got his measurements now. They've possibly been studying his photos to choose what they should pop him in for the day, and because he's going to be meeting the rest of his cohort later. So they want him to make an impression, and I think they sort of already know at this moment that his personality doesn't really make an immediate impression for him. He's quiet, he's shy, oh dear, he is not happy to be here. Okay, so staff members, sort of layout clothes, that's a good word for it. Layout clothes for layout. I'm not going to try to describe the clothes right now. Just we'll leave that till later. Clothes different from, clearly different because they're different clothes, but a bit more, what's the word? Subdued, subtle. And yesterday's. Possibly Liot wonder, can't he just wear yesterday's? I'll briefly just indicate cupboard. there. Oh, I have been wondering how the tippity-tappity of the keyboard sounds. I should probably get a mechanical keyboard with a more pronounced tippy-tappy. Make sure it sounds nice for everyone. Oh dear, goodness me, I don't want this to sound, clearly many aspects inspired by the Hunger Games, at least here, but can't make it too capital-like, can we? Honestly, it feels strange to say with all of this, but I don't think it's nearly as frivolous as the capital is. I don't think it's nearly as frivolous. And there's probably something more to worry about with second drafts. Maybe just they try to assist him a few times with various things that he can do himself, and they... Oh dear. Possibly the staff are a bit confused, but I think the personal assistant will remind them that, he's new here. He'll settle in, sort of thing. So maybe try to prepare a bath for him. Maybe, Liot, agrees to let them, work on hair and face. They're probably a little insistent. Is there probably some sort of comment there? Concept, etc. yet, but still need to make an impression. Maybe have them comment particularly because of your personality, and he wonders what that means. I'm not sure. I kind of like the idea that he, once he's relaxed very slightly, he starts to very quickly start to enjoy the sort of attention. It's nice. It's nice to have your hair brushed, sort of thing. And that's, I suppose, another thing he could feel a little guilty about. None of these people seem malicious or anything. It's just a lot. Maybe remembers mother looking after his hair. I kind of like the idea that the staff member is actually quite attentive to that and gives him a moment. I don't think anyone would ask why he was upset. I think they would just assume he's overwhelmed. Possibly personal assistant make a comment that yes, we know this is overwhelming. Oh, this is going to be more than a couple of sentences, isn't it? Oh dear. Hopefully it won't wind up too long. Oh, my eyes just fell on the word count because down the bottom here it's a nice and tidy 4,100 words in this chapter document so far. We know already that this will wind up to at least 2 chapters eventually. Okay, so we're on 21,558. Let's update. 21,558? I closed it too soon. Yes, 21,558, 21,558. 21,558. Let's have a look at our stats. Yeah, we've done just under 400 words today, so creeping up. Creeping up. Oh dear. I'll just show you this quickly. It just looks a little bit sad. Yes, he's the swoop all the way down with no words for 2 days. After so many on Thursday. Oh well, if we try to at least get around here, maybe. Okay, back to Scrivener. Here we are. Okay, so we can probably just make a small jump there to left the room, escorted, brief description of the halls. And this might be the first time he sort of really sees the main thoroughfare, like the massive sort of, pedestrian highway, I guess. I think I said I imagine it a little bit like a massive shopping arcade with the ceiling all made of skylights. Walls, colours, furnishing. Furnishings. There we go. Furnishings, textures, lighting, temperature. There's just so much to get in there. I know it's not going to be all in one sentence, but I'll need at least a few sentences to get all of that out. Into the main thoroughfare. It's going to have to be an actual name for this main thoroughfare. Possibly after the first prophet. That would probably work. Unless they wanted to be particularly on the nose and call it something like the chosen way. Probably not. No, I think a lot of chosen ones are incredibly self-aware with how ridiculous some of this sounds. Even the high-ups and the politicians are like, yeah, it's a lot. But, yeah, this is just how things work. Oh, dear. Okay, so we'll need a big, proper description of the main thoroughfare. I've spelt it before, can't spell it again. Thoroughfare. With particular emphasis on the light and sky outside. Probably still needs to keep his eyes mostly shut or just peeping out because it's just so bright. But I do want him to have at least one really good look. Okay. So made a turn into a corridor. Oh, really good look. Also want him to look up, because I was thinking I'd have to have several sort of main thoroughfares, but if they just sort of use this space and it rises up like all the way to the top of the city, so they just have lots of crossing over pathways over the top, maybe. Towards towers. And I don't think it's just the ceiling. I think it comes down a fair way along the walls as well. But lots of openings in the glass leading directly into buildings. Yeah. Oh, I'll get a good description going eventually. Just getting it all down. Let's just get as much of the story down as we can. So I've got a lot to work with when I get back to it, which, again, given the number of projects I've got in the works, could be a year before I come back to it after Nano. It could even be longer. So I suppose that's another really good reason to have this documented. It's a nice little thing. You know, the Nano project that finally got Blue into streaming. Oh, maybe it's not openings in the glass, but, you know, this main thoroughfare is sort of connected to, just joined to all the buildings. Oh dear. Maze of corridors. Not quite like the hotel, not as lavish as the hotel, but very clean, tidy, stylish. Wonders briefly if the same building was left in yesterday. I really need to figure out scale, don't I? I mean, it is a city, and it's, you know, perched on the edge of the canyon and sort of flows down into the canyon with lots of tiered levels going down. I imagine it's sort of, you know, either like the tiered rice fields or a little bit like a waterfall, maybe. I should probably try to do a terrible sketch one time. But don't really know how many buildings there will be as such. And I know the main thoroughfare, you know, this one wouldn't be connected to every building, but probably branches off in various ways. I should probably add the branches. Sort of branches off to service buildings further off. Okay, so far nicer than the one he was probably in yesterday. Well, not nicer. Not nicer. Yeah, the room he was in yesterday, that didn't have That didn't have a desk, did it? It was just couches, I think. It was a waiting room as opposed to an office. Did they actually forget to say it was an interview? I don't think they said it as such. Impression. Here say, meeting cohort today. That makes me nervous, but they reassure him he'd still be nervous. I think they might have accidentally forgotten to say it's an interview. We're just distracted by Liot and the fact that they're the ones looking after him. He's a big deal. I don't really want to do the interview or entering the room or anything, so maybe just one sentence, describe the interviewer, so it makes Liot shrink into his shoulders, just his presence vibes instantly make Liot shrink into his shoulders. Oh dear. And before we begin, how do we... Okay, so this got it starting clearly after they've had a few questions. Maybe just for 10 minutes Liot could barely make a sound. Insert above interview. TK that. And just finally, if it was over. That'll do. Gotta move on. What is my workout? 21,778. Let me just update that quickly. Whoa, wrong button. 21,778. 21,778. Slight shift upwards. Oh, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do a morning stream on Thursday as I'd hoped. It will possibly be doable, but I have an appointment a little bit later on in the day, and it's an appointment I'd rather be able to focus at. So I don't really want to tire myself out streaming. Oh, it's just a shame because Thursdays are my best chance to get ahead. Oh dear. Okay, where are we? Reminds me I need to fix up my schedule before I post it. It's still got me having the morning stream. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to briefly jump away and I will be right back. Excuse me, sorry. Back again. Thank you so much for waiting. Right, okay. I might try to stick a little closer to my notes. I was just, as I was away, I was just wondering if, I should try to reach a certain point, possibly the end of what I've planned for chapter 5, and then just have a little bit of a think of where some new chapters could go, now that I think I've decided to not just stick with Min and Liot's points of view throughout the story, but to include some points of view from Traus, Brioc, and the Hunter, who I just keep calling the Hunter, even though her working name is now Nico. She's just had so many working names and none of them have quite worked, so yes, I'll probably keep referring to her as the Hunter for the whole time. But Nico is her working name. Yes, I was wondering if it would be nice to try to think about what could go in those chapters. Would be an opportunity for me to practice some pantsing style writing if I don't do any planning for it beforehand. Just I know I want a point of view for them. Here, go. Oh dear, I don't think I'll be able to do that, but can try. Might be fun. I mean, I think it'll make the story much more fuller and more interesting if we have points of view from those three as well. I suppose others are a possibility. Yes, I suppose nearer to the middle and the end, Citra is also a possibility for points of view. But I'm not sure I really want her to have point of view until after she's left. After she's left Min and Brioc and the child. Because usually she'll be with Min, and I think if she is with Min, generally I'd want Min to take the point of view. But, a chapter with Citra on her own could be very interesting. But yes, that's not for a long, long time. Let's keep going. I've got a note saying Liot wasn't sure what the interview was meant to achieve, but I don't really think he'd be thinking about that at the moment. He'd just be grateful it's over. Possibly Liot's, just a little bit curious about the staff, but can't really bring himself to talk. Might just assume that most of them aren't chosen ones, but they're, higher level, non-chosen ones. Okay, so I've just got him being taken straight to the dorm. So, I think I need to add something there. So maybe, and the personal assistant is, we've got the interviewer. He was cranky. He wasn't impressed by Liot at all, but the personal assistant, I think, is all in all a good person. Doing their job, looking after this, quiet, nervous kid who could be the biggest thing ever, but is very quiet and shy and doesn't know what's going on. So I think the personal assistant might be being quite gentle with him, really. And, genuinely apologetic when realised didn't actually say aloud that it was an interview. Maybe they can just briefly say what it's about. Just to, as they say, just to get to know you. Probably offer a drink. They just bottled fizzy water or something and Leot's amazed. Maybe we can actually have a little laugh startled out of him when his nose is tickled by the bubbles. Because Leot, he's not sort of immune to the nicer things that this life brings. I'm not sure many people would be. Nice things are nice. It would be wonderful if everyone had them. But I think, I think these little moments when he's actually enjoying himself a tiny bit will probably be a big cause of guilt when he's feeling particularly down. He can't believe he's let himself enjoy anything here. But I don't want him to sort of go down that path right now. Oh, he's got a drink. We can make him choke. Oh, almost choke. Splutter on bubbles. Sorry, Leot. I'm apologising to him a lot, am I? I suppose the solution could be I'm not mean to him, but we all know that's not going to happen. Where are we? We're not down there, we're up here still. I wondered for a sec whether they'd just try to clean him up himself, but I think they'd just give him the towel now. Yeah, it's more like sort of housemates when they each have their own room and then, own room, own bathroom, and then like a shared living kitchen area. Probably all have their own studies too. I suppose if they just have a big enough room with a substantial study nook, that's fine. Do they even really have a full kitchen? I suppose we should give it to them just so they have the option of cooking, but I suppose they just wouldn't most of the time. Because, I'm sure there are definitely chef chosen ones, running the very fancy restaurants and stuff here, and we're, cooking shows and stuff. Still not great, but at least he can hide. Okay. Maybe not through the main thoroughfare this time. Maybe it's a bit quicker to go one of its smaller branches. Still glass ceiling, I think. I suppose there's no real need to. We could just take, it's probably enclosed ways to get there. Let's keep them out in the sun. I know there's plenty of enclosed spaces without windows, I'm sure, but these are chosen ones. Want to keep them in the light, probably. Maybe where the cohorts live is a little bit of a walk. It's sort of... Well, I suppose we can go full on and sort of have the dorms and the school and everything in sort of the same big building. Or should we keep them separate? No, keep them together as sort of a complex. Possibly not as tall as other buildings, but much broader and sweeping. Or possibly two large sweeping buildings, and one of them's the arena. Maybe the two large sweeping buildings are right on the, what's the word, precipice of the canyon. And parts of them will go down into the tiered sections, probably. Well, not large, huge. One's an arena. I suppose none of these buildings are extremely tall, but still not as tall. Probably go no taller than 20 or so levels, and that would be the highest, I think. Maybe we can pop that note in earlier that he went up. Well, he wasn't taken to level 20, but, he saw all the way up to 20. Which makes me think the inner city sort of buildings hanging off the bottom, they probably wouldn't be more than 10 stories on their own. Sorry, I'm just thinking architecture and where Min and Liot's inner city neighbourhood is compared to where Liot is now. I suppose it doesn't really matter. He's been moved around a lot, so there's no real matter if he's coming towards the precipice now when he probably would have come up very near it. In which case it's not a smaller branch. This is the main thoroughfare leading towards it. The Chosen Complex. It'll get a better name. Just can't keep slapping Chosen and Fate on everything. Like, even if that's technically what it would be, I think people would object to the names at one point. This is boring. This sounds silly. Please think of something else. Okay. School rooms. They don't go to school. Where you go to school and get training. Where you go to school and train. Training what? Training, everything. whatever your goals are. I'm writing very linearly again, aren't I? Taking everyone from point A to point B all the way. Apparently that's just how I roll. Hopefully it's not in a boring way. Maybe just have the main thoroughfare branch, because these are two of the most important buildings in the city, and so you'd want to go to both of them. Maybe Leot appreciating for the first time that there's lots of gardens in here and how beautiful they are. He won't be able to go into too much detail because he's not really familiar, I guess, with plants and flowers. He'd just keep his descriptions fairly general. Probably just... oh dear. Least description. Building facade. I don't want to think about it right now. It'll be quite similar. And so I guess the way it'll work is, so they're on closed-in pathways with glass roofs. So I'm guessing it's sort of, the wide pathway sort of fans out into a covered glass courtyard sort of thing. that part would attach to the building. Or maybe it sort of sweeps up the front of the building. And the building itself, same colours and designs as most of the rest of the city, but, grander, banners everywhere, that sort of thing. Keep picturing in my mind. Maybe you can sort of look up some stuff to do with hanging gardens. Oh dear. Yeah, this is definitely taking too long. Okay, let's just jump inside. Briefly saw, what is it? Like an atrium, I guess. And have, mountains, banners. Or maybe the gardens are inside. Yeah, well, maybe a few things outside, but gardens really ramp up inside. Seating, etc. Have you found maybe in some sort of pool? And the snatched look. No. Taking it straight to... I don't really want the elevators right there because it sort of, spoil the atmosphere, so they have them often side halls, I think. We don't need to take them all the way there, do we? I know I can always shorten it if I figure out why I keep writing like this. I can fix it up, but it's just a little frustrating occasionally. Just let me update my word count. 22 on the mum. Over here. Oh dear, approaching 1,000 words for today. I'd like to creep a little higher if we can, but trying not to push myself too hard. I'm still ahead. Dear. Okay. So let's just try to keep this as simple as possible. I don't think we need a specific. Let's just pick a level where this new cohort's going to be. It's a really big building, but I'm thinking maybe it's got some tower-like things on either side. Do I make it sort of castle-like in that manner, to sort of have, what's the term, is it parapet? That's probably the wrong term. Hopefully I'll know what I mean when I say towers either side. Let's just have castle-like. I don't think I'll be able to have Liot say that, but it'll remind me. I don't think I need to get too specific. Let's just pick a random level. Let's just go level 7. Why not? Keep it simple. I think I don't think they'd just dump him there. I think they'd take him to his room. Keep in mind they are coddling these kids. Yeah, I don't think they'd just leave him there. Have doors open automatically when a person who belongs in there comes in. PA has access, I guess. I think you just immediately worry about, people breaking in. Should we make this PA who's been helping him now become his actual PA? That might be nice. We're sort of building up a small relationship with her already. So. He probably doesn't get a good look at them now because I think PA, would greet them and then take Liot to see his room. PA probably needs to show, what's the word, deference. Maybe not a bow as such, given the PA is a chosen one too, just a lower ranked one. Staff would bow. Some kind of symbol. Staff bows. realises his roommates are all children of chosen ones. They all already know each other, and so, possibly indicate small hope that his roommates would be inner city kids. Okay. I know it's going to be 2 chapters, but they're going to be 2 long chapters. Still got a bit to go, don't we? Yeah, because we've got the Guardian selection show. I still haven't quite decided if I don't really want them picking as such who they're getting. But, Guardian assignment and such. And I was wondering if it's a bit like a sports draft or something, but I don't really see how that could work. Oh, I suppose it could always be at random. Luck of the draw, they introduce the kids from their interview stuff well, I think it would be more, they draw the Guardians and then the Guardians get to choose. So that means nobody picked Liot, even though he's got the high fate levels. I think they just think he's going to be useless. Or maybe it was rigged so this guy gets him. I think that's more likely. I think the politician is already at work and wants this guy with Liot. I haven't thought about it hugely yet, but I think this Guardian, when he was younger, would have had his own faction, would have been a candidate to be the ultimate chosen one, but is no longer, clearly. I have a feeling he is reasonably resentful about that. I think most are fine with it, gracefully realise I'm not the one sort of thing. But he is not graceful. No, I figure he was not very happy, quite publicly. Yes, probably has not been a Guardian before. I was wondering how long ago that would have been. Probably quite a while if we put him in his late 30s, early 40s, maybe. Yeah, I think that would work. I'm just gonna... Yeah, that's not till later. I'll find a better place to put this. I forgot I've had some notes a little later on. That's not until the kids are watching the Guardian show. Let's just throw this up here a little bit. I'll know what it means. Let the interviewer sort of wish him luck, you're going to need it. Sorry, we're jumping around a bit, aren't we? Just going to have a little bit of water, sorry. Oh dear. So, where are my notes? Sorry, just thinking. Well, we've got the personal assistant showing Liot his room and all the stuff already there. And all the, gifts and clothes that they've provided in his, size and picked out that would suit him, sort of thing. I figure he's going to start crying in his room, so maybe the roommates sort of tailed them to just, he's a curiosity. This quiet inner city kid who's apparently got the biggest chance to be the ultimate chosen one of anyone in history. So yes, they will be interested. Eyes down, sort of shuffle a bit behind the PA. I suppose if I do wind up having this person be his permanent PA, then the meeting his team sort of thing will be a bit simpler. With this PA, and we can, finally get names for the staff. We've got the two there, but we may expand the staff a bit. Oh dear. Second on the left. Just if the common spaces have 4 elaborate doors, 2 on either side. Sorry, I just don't feel like describing environment right now. I want to give that the time it deserves. Like a suite. Like we're going full on here. These kids are the future heroes and leaders and all of that here. So I'll go into a lot more detail with what the rooms look like. I'm just not at the moment. Oh, should we give him his own sitting room too? Dressing room with a... Probably his personality too. Maybe have the... Don't really need to go into detail who did it. May comment here, only thing missing are your uniforms. Bathroom, of course. Oh dear. Is that all we need room-wise? We just have the study, nook in the bedroom. Sitting room, dressing room, bathroom. Got the common spaces. besides the clothes. Oh dear. I think I've been, thinking I wouldn't get any further than what I've been calling part 1. Well, a little less than that, but I'm not sure we're going to get to half of that, to be honest. It's fine. Just a little bit frustrating. Just a little bit frustrating. Okay, most important gifts being tech pad on desk. So shiny. Possibly. Well, we want the shiny new pack of cards. Maybe on a table in the sitting room. On the sitting room there's probably, shelves for snacks and drinks and stuff. Need to think more along the lines of 12-year-olds and, gifts that 12-year-olds would like. So, what would rich 12-year-olds like as gifts to fill their rooms? Games. Some computer games. I haven't seen anything like that in the inner city, but there's not anything like it there, but there would be here. Maybe they'd be in the main space, but they probably still have something there. Actual, keep thinking more like sports equipment. I suppose they don't know too much about Liot yet, so they might just be covering the basics. Sports equipment, books. Sorry, it's been a little while since I was 12. I will think on that. I think I mostly just keep thinking, would there be some equivalent of a teddy bear here? I'd kind of like to think there is, a few. Not a few, just maybe one soft toy, possibly. Oh, should we have had... Liot did still hug a soft toy to sleep. And maybe the PA picked up something like that it might be welcomed. His own. I think some 12-year-old boys would still sleep with softies. I don't think it would be too unusual. And even if it is, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Just seems like something Liot might do. As a safety blanket sort of thing. Well, maybe that's the thing in chapter 5 that Citra and Min are trying to, figure out some sort of way to get this toy to Liot. Just wondering if there's some cute little way that Trouse could be involved in that. Maybe. I'm just gonna throw this down just to throw it in before I forget. I mean, possibly, given Citra is part of the inner city resistance and they have lots of ties with the upper city resistance, maybe there's some sort of way she can work that. Trouse and or the resistance. It might be a bit silly, but I still think it's sweet. Excuse me, sorry. Oh dear. I do need to think more about the gifts. Okay, so I think this is where Leot will break down and cry. Or maybe not even at the door, they just invited themselves in. That seems more like something they'd do. Some mention earlier of them, looking at his gifts, his stuff, complaining it's nicer than theirs. And possibly going, he doesn't look like a big deal to me, sort of thing. Got one roommate staying. She's wide-eyed. It doesn't really help, I don't think. I think the PA is going to look after him. When they collected him, he didn't eat, did he? Let's just pop. They brought food after quick breakfast. Here comforts Leot. kind of want the PA to be gone when he comes back, possibly, sent on a chore or something by one of the chosen ones, but seems odd when the PA technically is a chosen one herself, but yes, they are all at the beck and call of these kids. PA is probably the only one he's had any sort of, positive interaction with so far. So it seems likely that his PA was also an inner city kid. It's probably by design that they appointed her to him. She doesn't know exactly what he's going through, but she's got, a better idea than most others would. I think I was calling this roommate Lulaya, because that was originally the hunter's name, but I decided it didn't really suit her. That hasn't introduced herself yet. She just speaks up. Get some more something. I think she's going to be the sort to talk a lot. But we'll need some to fill the space that Liot doesn't fill, so Lulaya will do the job, I'm sure. And she can just... I think she'll possibly be able to take care of a lot of exposition for us. That might work. Thank you, Exposition Lulaya. What we got to remember about Lulaya is that even though she is, you know, in general, gentle and friendly, even though she is, you know, quite frivolous, a lot of these kids are. They've been born into this sort of thing, most of them. But although acts kind and generous and friendly, and perhaps on a certain level she is all of that, but she's also, you know, highly discriminatory towards most inner city people. You know, only the fact that she believes Liot is not inner city. He's come from the inner city, but he is now one of them, and that's good enough for her, and that's fine. But the fact that she does have, what's the term I'm looking for? It's an obvious term that's just not getting through my head. She's a bigot. That'll do. And I was hoping, you know, for her to have some growth throughout the story, but I'm not sure whether to at the end, to have her overcome it or to have her sort of double down on it. Both could be interesting. One more depressing than the other, but perhaps a bit more realistic. I mean, maybe if she, you know, doubles down on it and one of the other characters shows actual growth. It's not everyone given the opportunity to grow actually grows. Something to think about. You know, I don't like denying characters' growth, but we'll see what happens with Lalaya over time. Shall they be cute? She can offer an arm, escort each other. Maybe I should be extra mean and, you know, she seems to grow, but in the end, it's just not enough. I don't know. We'll see what works best for the story, I guess. Oh, goodness me. Excuse me. Sorry. How are we doing word-wise? 22, 8:21. Adjust that. 22, 8:21. Update. Okay, we've just about hit par. Let's jump back to the stats for a second so you can see. There we go. Yeah, no longer the lowest writing day, apart from, can't really even count those as writing days. I'm tired, but I'm still feeling alright. I might just go for just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. At least maybe get them through lunch. We have, you know, Liot can't help being a little bit charmed by her or something. He hasn't actually... Oh, he has said something, hasn't he? The really friends and, you know, don't we have our own sweets already? That's all he said. So maybe here he can, you know, shyly ask. What can he ask? He already knows that she's a child of chosen ones. Maybe just some kind of background question. I'll figure out the phrasing later. It's like name-dropping famous people talking about her parents. was wondering whether to have introductions to the others yet, or just the approach as Liot and Lalaya finishing eating. I think the other two have already started. I think Lalaya's probably not hugely... She'd know these two, but not be very close with them. A table or just like along a bench? It's a small kitchen, they'll probably have a table. Excuse me. Maybe he doesn't need Liot to ask. Some kind of... Which might be why, you know, she's all over Liot, she needs a new ally sort of thing. Who better than her new roommate, who just happens to be possibly the ultimate chosen one? Maybe she can raise her voice and introduce them. I'm not sure whether to have them introduce themselves or just... Yeah, she can introduce them. That's... Name... Name and name. Name and name. Probably from here she does take on a bit of a nurturing role with Liot, and possibly, you know, he's reminded of Min a little bit, which might be why for a little while he, you know, doesn't ignore them, but, you know, tries to explain away her bigot aspects. Just throw this note down here. I don't know if probably won't wind up putting much of that here, just maybe briefly. about her just sort of taking care of him. And Leo can possibly bring this up here about worrying about people breaking in. I think I want some... Oh goodness me, this is so long. I know it's going to be at least 2 chapters. It can be more. It can be more. I'm trying to be less stringent with myself with number of chapters from each point of view before changing. I had originally wanted to go min liot to just sort of help me push the story forward, but it's just, blowing out of proportion as we speak, as we write, as we think. So I'm going to try not to worry. Oh dear. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry and tired. Sorry and tired. Oh dear. Do I want... Between. Just feel like there should be something more between them at this point. I'm just not quite sure what. Well, not soon enough. Let's make it as soon as they've finished their lunch and Leo having no idea how they knew so quickly. Escorted to... just wondering whether Lalaya and another roommate wanted to change first. It might be a bit much. Let's not describe how they get there. Let's just get them there. Yeah, I think I might actually stop here. We'll see if tomorrow we can get through the orientation and the Guardian selection show. That's right, I wanted to put down the just have them draw out numbers, and whoever gets number 1 gets to go first or something.
I think maybe he wants to make Liot more of an underdog. Maybe. Some kind of tactic here. Righto, I might leave it there. Let me update my word count. Whoa, I pressed nothing of consequence. 23,190. Let's just go over here. What was it again? 23,190. 23,190. Come on, mouse. Be kind to me. 23,190. There we go. Got just over 2,000 words today. Oh dear. Oh. I'll try again to stay slightly above par. I know I set the rule for myself at the beginning that 50,000 was probably going to be too much to ask of myself and to try not to push it. But it's really hard looking at that line. I want to stay on top of it. Oh well. It's good to write the words. They'll be very, very useful to me eventually. I think I've just got to keep, thinking of it. It's writing practice, it's story planning practice. I intend to eventually produce a book out of all of this. I just think it's going to be a lot bigger than I intended, and that's possibly even more reason why it'll be briefly or not so briefly set aside at the end. I hope that doesn't disappoint anyone, that the story I'm working on live is going to take so long to sort of become a priority again. But I have been writing for a long time, although I have not much to show for it, and I would like to have something to show for it, and therefore I think I'm going to have to go back to focusing on my big priorities that I already have after Nano. And I hope you understand that. And I hope if anyone does happen to be watching in 5-10 years that I have somehow managed to finish, even if it's not this, I've finished something worth reading. It would be better if I'd finished this. And I suppose the only reason anyone might come back to these videos after 5-10 years would be to see how it started, if they've already read the book. It's fun thinking about that. Let's just jump, well, not that one. Let's jump here and see where we are. 46%.
46%. With any luck, we'll hit 50% tomorrow. That's not the right page I want to be on. I want to go back to the stats page to see what day it's thinking I'm going to finish. November 26. That's only because I missed 2 days. When I planned this project, I did not think about the possibility of missing days, except, possibly taking a day myself to relax, as opposed to the days just going so wrong. That's all right. That's all right. But yes, I think I've done enough for today. Oh, hello. Hello. It's lovely to see you. But I am honestly just about to finish. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. And so the plan for tomorrow, if I just grab Scrivener back up again. There we are. So the plan for tomorrow is orientation. Where are we? Here we go, getting through orientation and seeing what school and life is going to be like for these kids soon. I've only got a few notes for them here. It'd be nice if I could sort of keep it a bit constrained, and would get a bit more of that when he's actually going to classes and training and such. But given what I've been writing today blew a little bit out of proportion, I'm expecting that to happen tomorrow as well. Okay, so orientation, meeting a few teachers and seeing a few other kids in his cohort, the classrooms, the training halls, possibly getting a bit of an idea of what the schedule's going to be like and freaking out a bit about that. Tour of the facilities, and yes, it is probably the first time. Oh, has he already thought that? Well, I don't think he thought that Min should be here instead of him. I think he just thought Min would be enjoying this. Min would be enjoying every minute of it, and I'm not. Oh dear, so after orientation, probably the whole cohort eating together in a big common space. I don't know, actually, maybe we'll keep it smaller. Keep it smaller and just be in their own common space. I mean, there's probably bigger areas where the whole cohort could gather, but probably not areas, bigger areas specifically for this cohort. And they're probably, I suppose there'd be an area for them to all eat together during the school day. And possibly they'd have a screen set up there while it's going during dinner. I suppose if there were more kids there, Leop can get more and more humiliated as nobody shows any interest in being his guardian, despite his ridiculously high fate count. So yeah, I think we'll do that. Is it like a sort of dining hall? I mean, this is a lot. This is lavish. They can spend this space. All cohort together, dining hall common space. It's not called the Guardian Show, I just haven't got a name for it yet. Maybe for dinner, Leot, maybe not tried, but looked at the other inner city kids. They, they stick out, even though they're all dressed the same now. And I still can't spell demeanor. suppose that's the thing. I don't want the majority of these kids to be, outright horrible people. They're definitely ignorant. In some aspects it would be willful, and other aspects that have a lot sort of kept from them. And most of these kids have grown up in this very privileged, lavish lifestyle, which will, almost certainly produce certain character traits, like certain levels of narcissism and certain levels of, selfishness. Selfish doesn't seem like quite the right word here. No, in general, not terrible people, not inherently terrible people. They're rich kids. Rich kids that, might need a kick in the backside every now and then, in the nicest possible way. Okay, I added a few words. I might update my count. 23,286. There we go. Okay. Well, I will try again. Try again to stop for now. I hope you're doing well. And, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, that the rest of your day is absolutely lovely. Because that's what you deserve. That is what you deserve. Okay. Let's see if I can get any better at singing this thing. Still haven't learnt it properly, of course. That is a post-November task. But, I've got a slight cough at the moment, so hopefully that won't impede the singing too much. I might just pause to cough to start with. Okay, let's try this. Of all the money that e'er I had, I have spent it in good company. Oh, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. Until tomorrow.